Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautorestore.com, and I'm standing behind and underneath this 64 Cadillac. It's the convertible, and basically I just wanted to share with you how nice it looks underneath. This is a rust-free, very well taken care of vehicle, never seen any Canadian winters, and just used in the summers only. So the frame, the trunk, everything is very, very strong and rust-free. So we've done quite a bit of work on it, and I mentioned it in a previous video. So I think if we come closer, a lot of things that we did that I just want to share with you underneath. Kind of boring, but it's kind of important to see. The fuel tank, there was a lot of sediment because it was sitting for a long period of time. So we set the gas tank out and had a gas tank renew type system done where they steam clean, pressure wash and everything. So it was all cleaned inside and dipped. And then this has 3 coats of a 2-part commercial grade epoxy. And then we have new straps. They looked kind of scaly and stuff, so we wanted to deal with that. So they're new straps, and the tank has been totally redone. The exhaust system, as you can see, is all new, and we've done over the axle and everything. So this is exactly the way it should have been done from the factory. And a lot of people, unfortunately, especially being a 64 Cadillac, this is quite a nice car in the convertible. And they cut corners and they don't go over the axle. They'll do more of a straight pipe. You'll notice where the pipe comes through here. This is correct. I think the camera can pick it up. It comes through the support of the frame. This is the way it's designed from the factory. So you can see we have the Y pipe replaced, comes into the muffler in its original position, and then with our pipe bender we've made all of these correct bends to come through exactly the way it did from the factory in 64. So you got the exhaust system. You can see these shocks are fairly new. I think they're about a year old. So we've got the new rear shocks. We did extensive work in the brakes. You can see in the back here, if I'm not in the way, we have the new flex line on this side. You can see the back of the backing plate where we have the new hardware. So we have new wheel cylinders, brake shoes, spring kits, and so on, and then the new flex line. And then on this side, obviously the same thing. I think it's clearer to see. We have the new flex line. It's a new wheel cylinder, and then new hardware once again. These tires, you can probably see with the depth here, they are virtually new. Not a whole lot of driving on these tires, and they're a true all-season Firestone. You can see the depth of the treads here. So there's lots and lots of tread on these white wall Firestones. As we come towards the front of the vehicle here, you'll see we replaced, because I didn't want to leave the fuel lines and brake lines the way they were. So when we did the front and rear brakes and the flex lines, we replaced all of the lines. So you'll see the brake lines here coming through and across. So we have, this is the nickel copper lines. So every single brake line from the master cylinder going to the front wheels and also the back wheels, they are all brand new lines. And then with our fuel, this is our fuel supply line. You'll see it's the next size up, nickel copper, and it's starting, and I'll show you when we get to the front. It's basically right from the brand new fuel pump all the way to the fuel tank. And you can see in behind over the axle, so where we have the gas tank, and then you can see the line. So we've got the new flexible line, and then we've got it clamped properly and routed the way it should from the factory. So that makes it really safe because you're not concerned about anything in terms of braking, worrying about a fitting or possible corrosion or rust in any of the lines. So from underneath you can see how nice this chassis is. The floor pans are all original, the cross bracing. As I mentioned earlier, this is a true rust-free. It hasn't been cobbled up or patched. So all of these are the factory 1964 reinforcements and supports, and the main tunnel. The parking brake works as it should, and then as we come closer towards the front, the transmission had a servicing done You can see here we have the new hardware, and then right where my screwdriver is pointing at, it's very common, this rear transmission mount. The rubber typically separates from the steel and creates a little bit of a vibration. So we replace that transmission mount and new hardware. And then the transmission pan, we drop the pan, we replace the filter and the gasket. And then you can see here it's very common, this is brand new, and it's the transmission, it's a little governor for that. So it's a little solenoid, and they tend to seep or leak, and there was a little bit of seepage, so we wanted to replace that and make sure with the new fitting that there isn't any concern with transmission fluid leaking. The drive shaft is perfect, the U-joints are all lubed, and then as we come closer to the front, you can see a couple of things. So once again, the exhaust system has been done, and then we have this rebuilt starter, and I think it's probably better seeing it from the passenger side. So we sent this out, so you see here, it's a new solenoid, and it's been totally redone and properly done. So that was just done a week ago. There's a little bit of road grime because we had it on a couple of road tests. So a completely rebuilt starter, and then here's the continuation of the copper nickel brass line from the fuel tank coming up. You'll see we have new line, new clamps, and then we have another filter here, and then this line is new, and it goes up to, if I get my head out of the way, you can see up there there's a brand new fuel pump. So at one time, in the first video that you see this Cadillac from underneath the hood, I'm showing the underneath the hood and how clean and neat it is. But one of the things they did was the previous owner didn't want to bother with replacing the original fuel pump, so they left it, rerouted a electric fuel pump, which is not correct for the car. So for the road tests that we put, so we've put roughly 250 miles on the car in the last 3 weeks or so, total trouble-free and nice driving. I just didn't like the electric fuel pump, so we replaced it. You'll see in a previous video underneath the hood where we have the electric fuel pump. So we just did it today. We've replaced it with a factory correct, and it's a brand new mechanical pump as it came in 1964. And then you'll see once again the new brake line, so this nickel copper, and it's coming to between both wheels. So if you start at this front wheel, you'll see once again you've got new flex line, new wheel cylinder, and the new hardware. And then we've got the new nickel copper line, and you can see how it's routed properly once again like it was from the factory, and it comes up and around and then goes to the other side. And then once again you have the new flex line here. You'll see the ball joints have been replaced, and they're the greasable fittings, and everything else has been checked. So upper and lower ball joints, tie rods, all that sort of stuff in alignment has all been done. So I just wanted to share with you, because there were always a little bit of doubt when you're looking at a 64 Cadillac convertible, what's it like underneath, how solid is it, and how well has it been cared for. So I just wanted to take a few minutes just to show you how nice it is underneath too. So I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com, and I thank you for watching.